Welcome back to Reactioncast. It's your host Jesus, aka Tyrant Dominus, here to give you another movie review. This time around, we're going to be talking about Avatar: The Way of Water. It's been over a decade since the original Avatar first came onto the big screen. Yeah, it came out back in 2009, and it's been a while. So before we get into the film, it's the end of the year. We're getting close to basically everything. There's going to be, look forward to my 2022 top movies, shows, and the like coming up. This may be a contender. You'll have to wait and find out and see. But yeah, and I know November was a little bit scarce. There wasn't as many films that I personally was not interested in, and I was just catching a bunch of shows and getting those written up. But yeah, I do apologize for the scarcity in November. But besides that, let's jump into Avatar: The Way of Water. So like I mentioned earlier, the Avatar, I'm going to say quote franchise, even though James Cameron has been talking in basically in different forms of like articles and stuff like that he has this long running plan. Like he has 5 or 7 films like planned, and some of them are already filmed and stuff like that. So having seen the original like work, like there's a lot of discussion on how that film was perceived and everything. I enjoyed it, and how over a decade later, 12 years later, the second Avatar the Way of Water, how are people going to take it? Was it worth the wait? Was it not? And this is where I'll give you my opinion. And before we get that, let's kind of see what the general audience is so far saying, like on opening week. At the time of this recording, on Rotten Tomato, this film's sitting at a 80% on the tomato meter and 94% on the audience score. IMDb is sitting at 8.2. That's where there is shooting. So so far it's getting really good high praise from all over around. But here are my thoughts and my opinions on the film. I'm not going to get into spoilers because this is a 3-hour long movies, and if you are very susceptible to needing to go to the restroom, and mostly when there's water involved, there is a lot of water, so be prepared. Be prepared. It's a long one. It's over 3 hours long. But so Avatar: The Way of Water is taking place years later, literally a good chunk of time later, where we're following the character of Jake Sully, and I think, if I'm pronouncing this right, Neytiri, his wife basically, and him, after sending the sky people back, the humans back to their world, he is now the leader of his people. He is raising a family. He has his sons, his daughters, and just kind of that. And, you know, he's lived a good life. And here in, you know, then we just get the sky people come back. The people come back because, you know, resources, things like that. It's not really a big spoiler, because that's kind of one of the reasons they were here in the first film. It's like they were trying to get unobtainium, and in this film it's just resources again. I'm not going to really go into the antagonist because it's kind of a bit of a spoiler, and I don't want to talk, but it's interesting how they deal with the story, because I would say now, visually, this film, beautiful, gorgeous. Like, whatever company did, what company actually did all their not special effects, their CGI. Oh my god, what was the company? Whatever company they did a fantastic job, because this film, at least 90% of the film is CGI and like motion capture, and it looks flawless. It's almost like unperceivable, and it's really, really well done. Soundscape, everything sounds beautiful. The music's great. The thing that I feel is flawed is some of the story and some of the pacing. Not flawed in a bad way, it just feels awkward. The best way I was discussing it with my brother and the people I went to see it as we were coming home, it felt like a very long miniseries, and it was hard to kind of do a pacing. That was my issue with the pacing. It's a 3-hour long movie. There was like almost never any good like breaking point or anything. It's just, it flowed. There's a lot of like beautiful cinematography, which I'll say it was beautiful, but they were just like, look at all this water, look at all these sea creatures. Like, cool, I really like that. But yeah, and the issue I had with the story is there is some really basic tropes that are happening, and like it's nothing new, so it's not bad. It's like, it's pretty okay, but there are points where certain characters are like constantly in trouble and are just kind of causing more trouble and just moving the plot that way. And I'm like, seriously? Okay. Like, there's tropes where you can get like, okay, do it once, okay, do it twice, oh, okay, but I feel for a 3-hour long movie, characters get into troubles way too much, and it's just like, really, like, sure, that's how, like, and I think it would work in a like a mini series feel or a long episodic show, but for a film, it just didn't sit well with me. Like, to say it did not bring out any like enjoyable content, it just didn't click so much. There is some emotion to it. There's a lot in there, and I like it's powerful, but it just sometimes never felt like fully earned at times. So, because there's a lot of introduction and stuff like that, and that's what I feel is disappointed, because even though they were doing some already usual tropes, they were just sometimes overused. And like I enjoyed having the additions to all of Jake's kids, getting to know them a little bit more, but there was like, I think it was like 40% Jake and his wife, like 10% villains, which is like okay, and then a lot of with their kids, and like world building was wonderful. Like it was cool. It's just seeing more of the world of Pandora. Is it Pandora? Now I'm forgetting. I think it's Pandora. Like, yeah, I think it's Pandora. If not, people, you can get me in the comments below. And it's I don't know. I want to see how it's gonna, the third movie is gonna end, because the film ends with the third film. Like, yes, there's gonna be a third film gonna come out, because I think James Cameron, if I'm remembering correct, he said he was gonna put out Avatar 2 and Avatar 3, not like simultaneously, but within a good amount of each other, to kind of then see if he's going to release the other 3 and 4, well, not 4 and 5, because yeah, I want to see what they're going to do more with it. But yeah, so like, it was a wonderful film. It was a good film. I enjoyed it, but there's a lot of things that could have been done better. Some tropes that were overused. There were some wonderful characters. The introduction to Jake's kids, plus another kind of a leftover kid. It's not really of a big spoiler. You get like this you get this what is it? Kind of like a Tarzan style character who is a child who is just living like the Na'vi way, and it's like, okay, cool. It's just, you get a lot of wonderful, like, different concepts from other films, and that's fine if it's done well. It's like there's so many cool things. It just didn't click, and the pacing of the film, like, there were a few times where I'm like, how much more of the film is there? And sometimes, like, I just didn't want the film to end. It's weird. It's just, the pacing was just so awkward, and I'm like, damn. And there's things more I want to say without that are in spoilers, and I might do a spoiler portion of it, but I want to like actually get some more thoughts on that one. But in general, as a film, it's a fun watch, and I got to see this and I didn't get to see it in IMAX. I got to see it in something called Screen X, where, man, I did not expect. This is my first time seeing a Screen X film. I've seen like a few IMAX films. I think I've seen a total of 4 of And this is the first time I've seen an X screen film, and the introduction of having a way screen, it was on the sides, so you got more extension. It wasn't as clear as the center screen, but it was interesting to see, kind of, because I kept looking to my sides at times when the film gave you the ability to see more of the surroundings, which gave more atmosphere, I'll be honest. But was it worth it? No. I think what would have been more interesting, and if anyone's wondering why didn't I go see it in 3D IMAX, it's because, one, I'm stereo blind, so I can't see 3D properly, so I wouldn't have gotten the full enjoyment of the film. So that's one of the main reasons. So I sorry to disappoint anyone there, but to say the least, I really, really enjoyed the film. And this is where it's tough for me, critiquing the film. I might not be the best critiquer, but this is what my thoughts are for the film, because the way I've been thinking of it all night as I'm writing this review, the film is, like I said, it's beautiful, sounds wonderful. It's the problem is with the pacing, and the story, because the acting's good. It's just there's so much emotion is brought in here and there, and that's what it hurts for me. Audience are gonna love this film. General audience are gonna enjoy this film, because you don't even have to watch the first film to get most of the context of the second film. That's what's wonderful about this film. So I'm gonna give Avatar: The Way of Water a 7 out of 10. It was a good film. I enjoyed it. I just wish there was a little bit more. That's kind of my general thoughts. I'll let you know more of my thoughts if I release if you guys want a spoiler thoughts, because I'll give you a little bit more context why I think about that. But yeah, 7 out of 10. Let me know what you guys thought. Are you planning on watching the second film? Are you... Well, yeah, just let me know. But be prepped, man. 3 hours. It flew by at some point, but it felt like a log sometimes too. So, thanks again for listening or watching. Until next time, see ya. See ya.